Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Prissy Pandemonium. It's me, Miss Priss, Tyler, Miss Priss. I'm not even really sure how to begin this video. This is actually my first time being back on the camera in a long ass time. And I'm excited to embark on a new chapter with the channel and my artistic vision and all of that. And I guess this video is kind of meant to kickstart this new journey, which in all reality is the same journey that I've been on. I guess this is just now the next steps for me. And for whatever reason, it's beginning with me painting my nails. I'd like to say I'm fresh out of the shower. That was one of the titles that I explored for this video as I was getting ready and had this on my mind, was that I was going to say like, ooh, fresh out of the shower, painting my nails, babbling about, rambling about. I know it's supposed to be ramble, but I keep wanting to say babble about. If that gets in the title, you will know. But this is where we're at, okay? I thought it would be a good idea to light some incense. This is copal rose. There we go. Nice little flame. I'll wait till I see a little bit more of a burn. Slowly, there we go. All right. My intention is to create a relaxed, cleansed space for me to chill and enjoy the process of painting my nails. I mean, this probably looks cool right now, I imagine, but I am gonna put Miss Girl off to the side. All right. This is now a safe distance away, and I'm just adjusting so that as the incense stick burns, it falls in the tray. Okay. Today, I'm going to be painting my nails this color. This is by OPI Rapid Dry, and it is all touchy-feely. I have no idea whether or not this will focus. I purposely have the camera switched around for a few reasons, meaning I'm not filming this with like myself being able to see myself. It's not the front facing camera. It's actually the rear camera. I did that on purpose. One, because it kind of makes it fun that I'm, looking into an actual camera. And two, I think I kind of get distracted by myself and I watch myself too much, and I'd much rather just be here in the moment with the things that I'm around me and that what I'm doing. That was a little squeaky. I don't know where that came from. Oh, it's the chair. So let's get started. I have this color. I've got a little towel. Of course, I have this right here because I am in my living room and I'm at this nice dining table. And my living room gets a lot of sun. I want to be in my living room. I want to be next to the plants. And I actually just recently moved this table up here from the basement. So I want to enjoy it. It's meant to be a living space, the living room. I'm just really in that time of my life finally where my space is starting to be lived in how it should have been lived in from the beginning. No, I don't really want to say that. I think it's just more that it's evolved to become what it is now. And I'm really excited to continue living and creating in this space, right? But no, it was a little bit drawn out, but this table is a part of that. I also have the nail polish remover just for mistakes. I don't know how long this is going to take me. But we're just going to get started. Because I think I got to have quite a few coats, you know. I think I'm going to keep this on the little towel. And yeah. I've just been feeling lately. So I went on vacation. I was going to say like last week. You know, I was on vacation last week. But last week, I mean, this is like how time is so weird. Because last week was our final day of vacation. Like somehow I lived a full week of work and life after, but it's just felt so, I felt very disengaged. Ooh, that was a lot on that nail. I felt very disengaged with my life this week. And so because of that, like things don't really feel like they're lining up as they are, as I might potentially have it in my mind. I don't know. I don't think that really makes sense. But, you know, here I am. Here's the thing, y'all. I'm not really sure what my mental state has been like this week, other than kind of all over the place. So I don't understand it myself, let alone how to dictate it to you, you know, if that makes any sense. I kind of did that pretty quickly, but here we go. So anyways, where I was going with all of that, there were a couple times on vacation where I was like, oh, my nails are getting a little long. And I thought about cutting them at one point, because to be honest, I like having both the long nails and my short nails. Like both, I don't know, both have kind of a different energy for me. I'm just gonna let this dry a little bit. Both, okay, here we go. Both have their benefits. And it had been a hot minute since I had long nails, and I had cut them maybe a week before vacation. So they were already a little grown out when, or maybe it was a couple weeks. Honestly, I don't even know. The week leading up to vacation was insane. But I noticed that we're getting long on vacation, but for whatever reason, I decided not to cut them. I was like, no, I don't want to. So then this week at work, I'm just like, ooh, you know, like I feel myself, I was tapping on stuff on my keyboard and like, and then driving, like the way my nails kind of like curved around the steering wheel. I'm very sensory. I know that's not really everyone's experience, but yes. So like even just like feeling them on my palm right now, for whatever reason, I just like it. It's kind of, I don't know. It does give you a sense of like power isn't necessarily the right word. And I want to say something more than just energy, but it does give a vibe, right? It does give a like a little, I'm totally at a loss for words right now, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? It's just like, it just feels very, I don't know why, but I want to say Catwoman, like just like, I just feel Hmm. You know, something about me is I kind of get in my head a lot. I really do. Um, oh, some of that burned off. And guess what? It didn't fall in the tray. It literally fell right outside of it. And that's okay. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I know this is rapid dry, but I'm still want to be extra careful. And my left hand is not my dominant hand. So, oh shit. So this is going to be interesting. You know, I will say every time I do this, it does get easier. But anyways, I'm in my head a lot, y'all. And it's been a really hot minute since I've posted. And I don't really know why that is. And I never foresee me not posting. I don't really know how we're in June. And the last time I posted was March. And my videos in March, I like whipped out and had this creative momentum and this goal for myself that I wanted to get them. I think there were 3 videos, and there was a Zara Larsson concert in the middle of all that, and then of course I made a video about that. And I just was feeling, I don't know, maybe it was feeling the high, but it more than anything, it was just like rolling with the momentum, like embracing it and being like, yeah, I can do this. This is really fun. And what happened in between that? Oh, the past 2 months have been, oh gosh, no, I mean, I can even say since March, the past couple months have just been, you know, I could sum it up in a few words. It's been transformative, it's been very revealing, it's been healing, but it's also been arduous, not very comforting at times. Disjointing, is that the word? Disorienting. You know, I even experienced, it's like every time I want to film a video, and I get thrown off by certain emotions, certain thoughts and feelings that arise as I'm like engaging with the natural process. And by that I mean literally setting up the camera, figuring out the angles. My brain gets very, and maybe it's my nervous system, whatever we want to call it. I mean, I know they're different things, right? But I guess I don't even really know how I want to talk about this. But because, again, sometimes even as I'm speaking, my mind is racing like a million miles a minute. And so then my words don't always flow because I get caught up. I like stop myself in the moment because I'm like, my brain's like, wait a minute. How are you going to talk about this? How are you going to tie it back in the concept? Like as I'm speaking, sometimes I just have to be like, let's take a moment to breathe, right? But what did I say? I knew I would be babbling about, like a little babbling brook, rambling about, babbling about. But I felt myself get so frustrated as I was working with this camera. Even though, you guys have probably had a few, now it was more than a few, maybe 10, 12 test videos before this just working out the angle. And it wasn't even about perfectionism. It was just about getting to the point of what I saw in my head, right? And what I knew would happen. And how could I be so triggered right off the bat, right? In terms of me starting it off. Like, why do we expect it to be exactly as we see it the minute we begin, the second we begin? And that's what I meant by like engaging with the natural process. Like, you're supposed to teach yourself and learn how it happens, like how you get somewhere. And now I'm thinking like, ooh, that's like a metaphor for a much larger concept of life, right? About journeys and all of that, about where you begin and where you start. But like, of course, and this is the thing, you really never know how it's gonna go. And you know what happens when I get it right? When it looks, let's say, even today, right? Even with this example. All right, we're gonna do the second coat on the other hand. Even this today, when it does look like the vision that you had in your head, in my experience, anxiety, well, okay, it's definitely anxiety, but I'm not gonna lie, some of the thoughts are not simply just anxiety. They really do come from the evil one. They come from Satan. Because he does not want me to be sharing love, right? Does not want me to be trying to fulfill the mission that God has set in my life. And that's not to say that I fully know or understand the mission or know what it's going to be, but the battle is spiritual, right? So I'm not trying to glaze over anxiety, not at all. Please don't mistake me here. I'm saying that in my experience, I know when the devil is at work. I can, it's a very distinct voice. It's totally devoid of love. And it can be quite relentless. But it's also very sneaky and very clever, okay? So maybe in this case it wasn't anxiety. Like, I don't know. But anyways, it looked right, okay? Like the camera setting, I got it good. I like the angle. And then it's like, okay, but what if you don't hit the button right? What if this doesn't record? All these what ifs. And I get that is anxiety, right? That definitely is anxiety. But I just gotta surrender that shit to God, okay? You know what? If some reason in the middle of this just stops cold turkey, okay. If that happens, and I discover that in the next moment or whatever, that's up to me to surrender that to God and say, listen, I don't know what you want me to do with this, but let's roll with it. But it's not supposed to be that serious, I mean, I'm sitting here with 2 towels. I've been sitting in these 2 towels for a hot minute. I can't even tell you how long. Because I was finagling with the video. But here we are. I don't really know what people are going to think of this. Does it matter? No, it definitely doesn't. Not really. Not at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what people think of it. It matters whether I did it or not. It matters whether or not I chose to just do what I felt called to do. And if I just take a minute and I look around, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for the peace. I'm grateful for this, what some would call a gloomy day, because it's definitely overcast. There's rain, it's sprinkling. I don't know that it's raining right now, but it's definitely wet outside, right? But we hear the birds chirping. My garden's blooming. It's doing well. And I could sit here and worry about how much rain it's getting, how much water, and worried that it's too much and what's going to do well and what's not. And it's like, and there's weeds galore. But guess what? Our lives have weeds galore. And it's not always about pulling them up right away. Sometimes it's about letting them be. You can weave through them, but, you know, I read something, this would have been a while ago, something about how weeds aerate the soil. Whether that's true or not, well, I mean, I think it makes sense. I think it probably is true. I don't know if all weeds do that. I mean, surely some are probably, it's like, okay, let's get them out of the garden, right? But like, knowing that did help me to just kind of relax and not feel as though I needed to rip them out of the garden right away. And you know what? In the time that I've been on vacation and with the rain this week, because it did rain this week. I mean, there were some nicer days. And this is what I was trying to touch on earlier. But I was wallowing, okay? I was wallowing this week. Y'all ever wallow? Y'all ever wallow? Do you ever wallow in your filth? I wallow in my filth. Certainly yesterday. So I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. My sheets need to be washed just because, you know, it's summer. I'm a sweaty human being, especially with certain things that you can do in the bedroom. Not to say that I'm... Anyways, we're gonna move past that, but yeah. To be human is to not be totally clean or perfect all the time. I mean, we're never going to be perfect. Are we perfectly made in God's image? Yes. I do believe that to be true. And the origin of self-love is love of God. You know, and there's the temptation to overthink what I'm saying in the moment, to take that as truth. But I did pray before this video because I knew I would struggle throughout. And I've struggled in a lot of my videos sometimes. I don't want to be that way anymore. I don't want to be that way. I just want to live and experience, and yeah, I'm going to hit the record button before it happens, but everything in this life is so... Everybody's just... So much of what you see is so polished. Polished to present an image that isn't real. So what the fuck are we polishing? You know, why are we polishing something that's... Why do we try and make something out of something that's not? I don't know. All that to be said, leave the weeds. I mean, I'm gonna get to the weeds. So anyways, you know what? If you're sticking around for this, that's awesome. Just chill, hang out with me. Paint your nails too if you'd like. This isn't really meant to be like, I don't know. I'm not going to intend to like triggers and tapping on stuff. I mean, I am painting my nails, so that would be kind of not ideal, right? Don't want nail polish getting all over the place. You know, I'm kind of looking at these and I'm kind of like, I mean, I like them. They look cool. But I would not be surprised if I almost said like took them all off. But that's not true. I like them. They're kind of like a pearly white. It's not what I remember them looking like. I'll be honest. But you know, I'm not really sure I need to touch up anything. Are they perfect? No. But hey. So anyways, I wasn't outside this week pulling weeds, even on the sunny days, because I was wallowing in my misery. And so let me finish this thought. And now they're just going berserk. There are weeds everywhere. But that's okay. The garden's still pretty. And I'll tear them up at some point this summer. Today's a gloomy day. Today's a rainy day. I'm not going to be out there. Okay, let's paint our fucking nails instead, and let's enjoy it. I still gotta unpack, y'all. I thought about maybe doing an unpacking ASMR video, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, we're gonna touch this up. Oh, that's what I was saying though, about wallowing a little bit. You gotta hold space for the things that make you feel down and out in the world. You can't always, well, no, I don't think you can ever rush past it. And you can't seek immediate remediation. Because sometimes, you know, our humanness, you know, let's not forget our humanness. It is a very human thing to do to experience negative emotions. That is our reality. Especially with the world being so cruel in so many different facets, and for so many of us in different ways. Like, I think there are some shared traumas just because society, the way that society operates in certain regimes and certain, also these look really cool. Yeah, but then of course we have personal experiences that we can't, they're certainly not necessarily totally unique. Okay, that's not true. I feel like there's things that we experience though that as we're living them, we don't feel like anyone else is experiencing this, you know? And it's not till later on when you're sharing with a friend or a family member or someone close to you, you're experiencing your thoughts on this, and they're like, oh my God, yeah. Either like, they share a story, right, of something that's in their past, very similar, relate to you in some way with what they're experiencing. Like, it creates this very fascinating form of connection. And yet, in the moment, as you're having these struggles with yourself and despair, And oh my God, there's a million different things that one could be experiencing in life that's like got them down and out and not feeling like themselves and disconnected from everything that brings them joy. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, like we all experience those, and yet when they're happening to us, we don't have this sense of solidarity. Like the solidarity just, oh, I hit that. Did I get any? No, we're all right, boo. Okay. I nicked my, I nicked the little part of my skin there, but that's no big deal. Because this dries fast, it can be a little difficult to get smooth brush strokes. I mean, in one hand, it actually benefits. They actually are smoother because of it. But on another, if you're not quick, you can kind of tell where you've layered. But if I'm fully honest, I'm so engrossed in what I'm sharing right now that, like, I could kind of care less about how this is turning out. It's going to be what it needs to be. Oh, where'd I go? Right here. You know, I'm just touching this up. This is kind of going to be the last coat for all of them. And yeah, we're going to leave it at that. And y'all, I'm not going to edit this. Like, I'm going to edit the beginning a little bit just so I was a little anxious in the beginning. Got up from my seat to check it, make sure it was working. And it was. The camera was rolling. You know what that song I have stuck in my head? Wink Wink by Charlie XCX. I'm gonna make a video. So I'm gonna plan to make a video. I've learned that I gotta stop kind of putting things out there that, I mean, I have the best intention when I say I'm gonna do something, but I don't want to make any promises because life is, ugh, don't even know what comes the next second, okay? No matter how much the world wants you to believe that you are in control, actually in control of quite little. It does not mean that we're not powerful, because actually what we can control arguably could be even more powerful. That's probably a tangent that I need to explore further in my writing, but yeah, you guys, I got my nails painted. Okay, I guess I'm gonna end on this. This just came to mind and I'm gonna share it. I'm not, okay, I was gonna say I'm not 1,000% comfortable with the way my body looks right now, but that's not true. I guess with that thought, it's like I'm reflecting about how I haven't been to the gym probably 3 weeks, just because the week before vacation I didn't. The week of vacation I didn't do anything. I mean, of course I was swimming and climbing and doing all these fun things and walking and hiking. It's not as though I haven't been physical, and that's why I'm like confident. I'm still, like, I love my body, I really do, but there's this idea that, like, I can't, there's a thought in the back of my mind that I can't publish something, I can't post something if I don't feel like I'm in my best shape in a moment. Can you imagine if we lived by that standard? I mean, I would never do anything. Actually, I think a lot of people don't do something because they feel that way. I mean, that's how I felt at times. I still struggle with that. I mean, I struggle with it now. It's like, oh, am I sure I really want to put myself online like this? I mean, I don't know. I look good, but could I look better? It's just how I look, Tyler. You look great, hon. Thanks. I know. Yeah, I do talk to myself. And in the past, I wanted to edit that out, but I'm not going to do that anymore. So, yeah, this is me. This is me with my painted nails, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to come after this, but here we are. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate you. I'm an odd one. I really am. But life is fun. Let's have fun. I mean, life is a lot of things, but it's fun. It is fun. And I think I'm trying to I'm trying to share that with people more. Help shape our perspectives. Help remember love at the end of the day more than anything, because that's how we can get through this fucking bullshit, you know? All right. Peace, darlings and divas. You know, this dried, so I think I'm good. All right. Muchos besitos. Many kisses. I'll see you soon. Okay? This is not the end. But bye now.